Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive lineman Elijah Roberts and what his role is going to be in his first season. Is he going to be a rotational guy? Is somewhere down the line something like a starting role a possibility for Roberts? Kind of similar to what we saw with Yaya Diaby and a guy like Joe Trine-Shoyinka in Yaya Diaby's first year. Could we see a similar type of situation with Elijah Roberts? And I feel like that is a genuinely fair question to ask given the makeup of the Buccaneers defensive line room, okay? Because you have Vita Vea as your starting nose tackle. You have Kalijah Cansey as one of your starting defensive ends, and then you have Logan Hall. And if there was any guy that Elijah Roberts would be genuinely competing with for starting caliber snaps, it would very likely be Logan Hall. And I know I've talked very glowingly about Hall. He did have 5.5 sacks last year, had a little bit of a breakout year, but look, nothing's guaranteed. Competition is real, and I do believe that Elijah Roberts can very well be some stiff competition for Logan Hall. Why do I say that? Well, first off, I love the production of what we saw from Roberts his last 2 years in college. In 2023, he had 10 sacks, he had 3 passes deflected, he had 13 tackles for loss playing for SMU. In 2024, he had 7.5 sacks, he had 11 tackles for loss as well. He played in 14 games in 23, by the way. He played in 13 games in 24, and that was for, again, a school in SMU that I believe made the college football playoffs in 24 as well. So, this is an SMU school that had a lot of how do I phrase this? Had a lot of pedigree, so to speak, in terms of what they have done the past couple of years. Elijah Roberts was a big part about that. He was actually the 87th ranked player on Pro Football Focus's big board. The Buccaneers got him in round number 5. He had a pass rush grade of 90.7, guys. He had a run defense grade of 81.3, a pass rush win rate of 22.4, and a run stop win rate of 8.5. He had 2 very phenomenal years in 24 and 23. Actually, whenever we talked about Kalijah Cansey, it seems like Elijah Roberts is a similar type of player. Better pass rusher than a better run stopper. So maybe that's where you start to see an initial role for Roberts, where Logan Hall may be the type of guy where, hey, the Buccaneers will use him as a run-stopping defensive lineman. Maybe they have Greg Gaines out there as well in 2024. Again, Logan Hall did have some decent numbers, but his overall grade, according to Pro Football Focus, was a 58.1 in 2024. That was 93rd out of 219 defensive linemen, a pass rush grade of 59.3, 110th out of 219, and a run defense grade of 54.1, 100th out of 219. So there is room for not just improvement for Hall, but for a guy, again, like Elijah Roberts, to maybe start to crack that rotation in certain moments. Maybe it starts as a pass rush specialist, right? But he has been going out there. He has been making plays lately in practices and whatnot, having some would-be sacks in a practice here or there. So I'm going to be curious to see how Roberts continues to grow and evolve, especially during that crucial training camp period, during preseason games, moments where you can see him really start to shine, and also possibly see what the coaching staff thinks of him as well. Do they believe that Logan Hall is going to be the full-blown established starter, or are they going to give a little bit of wiggle room in that rotation? Again, we've seen Greg Gaines rotate somewhat throughout the past couple of years, be it at nose tackle and moving Vita Vea to defensive end in some formations, or just Greg Gaines playing defensive end as well. There has been some movement in the rotation for all the defensive linemen, right? But I think there's even more room now with a guy like Roberts being in place. And again, I like the production. I like the deeper advanced numbers from Pro Football Focus. You see a lot of evidence here to suggest that Roberts can have some type of impact in year number 1. And we're just going to have to wait and see as to how far that impact can possibly reach. But what do you guys think about Elijah Roberts? Let me know your thoughts and opinions about him down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.